You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
Everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Couch Potatoes. I'm Alex.
Chris.
Yeah, this might as well just be the way we introduce it now. It'll be with our special guest.
It'll be fucking Couch Potatoes with maybe Cap. Just put like a giant question mark and just some guy like pulling Beavis's like head away.
Well, I've honestly been thinking about some updated artwork just across all the shows. Maybe not No Time to Turn because it's still pretty new, but new artwork for Something Good For You and Couch Potatoes. So I've been kind of cycling through some different ideas.
There's two kids podcasted in my Winnebago.
Wrong series. We're going to be diving headfirst back into the 1980s horror Stranger Things. And the new season's already out, and I have been purposely like staying away from it because I want to finish the retrospective because we only got this one and one more episode to go.
I've tried to stay away from it. I even popped up Netflix today. It's like, I'm not going to watch it. And then I keep seeing advertisements for it. And then I'm a D&D fan. So now all the D&D stuff is now crossing over. It's ruining my content.
Oh, shit.
Because they're like, dude, if you like Stranger Things, check out this D&D storyline. This is what they use. I'm just like, fuck.
Well, sometimes we pre-record these and kind of scatter them about, and sometimes the release is not the exact order in which we recorded things. So who knows? Maybe we'll spit out an episode 3 here soon so we can just start watching season 4 and then kind of sprinkle episode 3 among everything else. Because, man, we are eating good these next couple months. We have a ton of content.
Yeah. I thought you just meant because I was unemployed and could cook. So like, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, we eat good. I don't give a fuck.
Well, literally and metaphorically. But no, we got a ton of stuff coming out this month. So let's go ahead and dig back into Stranger Things Season 2. Now, Season 1 and 2 kind of blurred together for me. Honestly, yeah, because when I watched them,
that's right,
they were all back to back. So seasons 1 and 2, I watched basically front to back, so they all kind of blurred together.
I really enjoyed season 2. I thought it was a great, sequel to. So this is, some shows, especially on Netflix, kind of fall off the cliff there when they try to go to the next season. But this one stuck the landing every time, especially with the amount of time that passed, because you get the big Steven Spielberg, Stephen King movie-esque thing. The good guys won, but the bad guy died. But the cliffhanger of season 1 is what's his name, little boy, the nerdy looking kid.
If you had not said that, I would have
Will.
Will. Thank you.
Will now has like these weird visions of the underneath, but what's down there,
right?
And he spits up something, kind of goes plop. He spits out a little slug, and then that kind of tied into me. It was just like, oh man, this is gonna be an '80s body horror kind of thing. It's gonna be the shit.
Well, that was the end of season 1, right?
Yeah, but it picks up a few months later. The boys, it's summertime almost.
Well, the first thing we see is it gives us a date of October 28th of 84, and a girl with psychic powers. It says a girl with the psychic power to make people see things with a tattoo reading 008 on her arm is a part of a criminal gang that manages to rob a bank and get away into Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So at that point, we're kind of set up with like there might be others from where 11 came from. Yeah.
Yeah. This is how I could separate this.
The punk kids.
The cast from Return of the Living Dead 3 or some shit.
Yes.
They do. They look like they show up in a Scooby-Doo-esque zombie movie. Like it's number 8 out of the group I didn't really like. you do sympathize with the characters though, because you know, like, oh, okay, they're just like 11.
Yeah.
They all just have like different X-Men tier level bullshit.
Right.
And they're in Steel Town, so it's just like, okay, so we can kind of know where Pittsburgh is in the Midwest, near the Great Lakes, near where we think the town is, and it's just like it matches up pretty good.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives you an idea of like, oh, this is where they're pulling all the kids.
Yeah.
Fucking the Midwest and just snatching them up.
And honestly, I was expecting these kids to play a little bit of a bigger role to the overarching story.
Yeah, I think they pulled them a little bit too early, and I hope they kind of make a reference to them again in the new season. Because you do leave it very open-ended with a bunch of super-powered people still roaming the fucking streets.
Yeah, because I remember this intro scene really vividly now, and I remember thinking like, ooh, what's this going to mean for the overarching story? Not just 11's journey, but what is this going to mean for the overarching thing? You know, or is someone else from this going to become part of the team? And no. And we didn't really see him during season 3 either.
And I think it's because like they're adults, like they're straight up fucking adults.
Yeah.
They're young adults, but still fucking adults.
Yeah.
So I think I kind of see where the dynamic wouldn't have clicked.
We can only have one ultra babysitter among the group.
Yeah. Well, it kind of, if you kept it going like that, you kind of leave the other characters in the dust, because now the gang is like, hey, where did our friend go? It's like, we'll never know, because it really fucks it up down the road.
Right.
And they kind of tie it off a little bit, but it's still so open-ended.
It is.
It is a waste almost.
Yeah. And I definitely agree, because they seem like very interesting and captivating characters.
What would be cool is if they did which I imagine they will, maybe a branch off series. Stranger Things 2, Electric Boogaloo. Hall & Oates.
That's what this should have been
Hall
called.
& Oates soundtrack.
This is what this season should have been called. Stranger Things 2, Electric Boogaloo. But yeah, like you were saying though, back in Hawkins, the town is preparing for Halloween. Max, a new girl at school, captures the boys' attention, and then she winds up being one of my new favorite kid characters.
So she's been in a few horror movies I've seen already, especially around that time. Now this is when I started playing the NES Stranger Things game.
Yeah,
and she's in it.
Yeah.
Now Stranger Things, they fucked up the game because they put something in the game where, all right, so Will has one of the kids has a slingshot. One kid has a skateboard. One kid does this. One kid does that. 11 uses psychic powers. You get her at the end.
Yeah.
But you can play as Max. Max had a superpower, not a slingshot or a gun or anything. She had a motherfucking superpower in the game, and everybody was like speculating. Oh fuck, does she have powers? And just based on the trailer, apparently she fucking does now.
Yeah.
But there's that leaked 3 or 4 years ago when that season came out. I'm just like, you guys fucking suck at keeping secrets. But that's, I love the opening all right, so the boys are the only ones dressed up for Halloween.
Yeah.
They're all dressed like Ghostbusters, which I fucking love the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And it was fucking hilarious seeing it, because they look at the black kid and they're like, why are you Egon? Because I want to be fucking Egon. It's like, no, you got to be the other guy. What, the black one? I'm just like, that's fucking hilarious, because 2 of them are Egon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the kind of underhandedness of it a little bit. They get back to school and they're like, hey, there's a new kid in town racking up high scores. And they're like, oh, they're looking for a guy named Max.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh man, what the fuck? And they see her and she's the 80s kid, like the 80s kid.
Yep.
If she was a boy, she'd be selling cigarettes outside of Adventureland.
But I dug her because...
or Action Park.
Oh yeah, because the thing I'd liked about her character is it seems to be... Writers seem to have trouble writing a strong female character that's not an absolute bitch the entire time. Does that make sense? Where it's like the rudeness gets overshadowed with the idea of, oh, she's just strong and powerful. This character, she had no problem standing up for herself against the boys. You know, she is her own character, but at the same time, she isn't intolerable. She's not annoying and grating on the nerves to watch. So that's something else I really commend them for, is writing a good, strong female character.
I think it's not just the female character part. I think it's writing children.
You're right. Yeah.
Like, boy or girl, the best part about writing a kid is you're letting the kid kind of lead themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying the whole thing's improv. There is great writing, but I'm saying just let them see what naturally they would fucking do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is 4 kids with a 5th and a 6th.
Yeah.
And now it kind of evens out the dynamic just a little bit. Not like diversity-wise, but more of...
well, now they have a girl part of the team.
Well, 11 is a girl.
But you know what I mean. But she's away now.
Yeah. But it goes back to a D&D class thing. Like, so you have your rogue, your warrior, your magician. You have all these characters, and they're just adding to the group, man.
Yeah.
The D&D group's just getting bigger. That's all it is. Because it all starts with 4, season 1 ends with 5, season 2 ends with 6, maybe 7, and then at the end of season 3, it is a class of like 10 fucking people, all with different characteristics, all with different abilities. And I'm just like, make the next NES game, goddammit, so I can have a reason to buy an iPad. Because that's what I played it on, was an iPad. It's this is so convenient.
Best Buy has payment plans.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's what you heard. But yeah, and then after this, where was I? Oh yeah, Joyce is dating her old high school classmate Bob Newby, and Hopper investigates a field of pumpkins mysteriously rotting, and conspiracy theorist Murray Bauman investigates people who cited 11, believing her to be a Russian spy.
So this is kind of a funny thing to me, because this is what they incorporated in the NES game, was the underneath and how to access it, because that's all the game was the whole access thing for season 2.
Yeah.
But first of all, Sean Astin.
You've been waiting for this part.
We'll get to this. You thought Barb was fucked over? Sean Astin was fucked over. He was in Lord of the Rings. God damn it! All right, he's the best friend a person can have. And like you were talking about Murray, Brett Gilman, the guy who plays him, is just one of the funniest freaks you ever seen on. Like he is fucking hilarious.
He is really good.
And like, if you want to get a guy to be a conspiracy theorist, that's the one. Like, you can't do better than him. Just like, even that's his regular look. He didn't do makeup. He didn't do hair. That's what he looks like.
He just rolled out of bed.
Yeah, that's what he looks like in real life. Like, it's not like what they did with like Carrie Ells and gave him like Rolexes and fucking gold rimmed glasses and a fucking like made him bench a couple pounds. Like, nah, this Gilman is a weird looking motherfucker. And this is what I noticed, that the mom was my favorite character, not Winona Ryder.
The other mom.
Natalie. What is it? Or what is her name? Nancy's mom.
Yes,
Nancy and Will, the other guy's mom. She plays a little bit bigger role in this season, not as much as season 3. But yeah, this one.
She wanted to play a much bigger role in season 3.
But she's fucking hilarious. She's from Funny or Die.
Yeah,
and a couple other series. And she actually plays it up a little bit better in this one, because I want to see more of the parents a little bit, other than Winona Ryder just going ape shit.
Which is always great.
Yeah. I like how she's trying to ground herself, though. She's like, oh, God, I got a guy who doesn't think I'm fucking nuts. He treats my kids right. I'm not nuts. She has that whole mentality. I'm a Winona Ryder, goddammit.
I'm a normal woman.
Yeah, I'm a normal woman. Person. But, we're getting a slow return of all the characters. David Harbour, as Hopper, and I liked Hopper. Hopper was a very down to earth character for the longest time. He does get a little eccentric later down the road.
I think they kind of messed him up in season 3.
Really?
We'll of course get to that, but no, I think Hopper was still a really great character in season 2.
Yeah, and this also brings in, all right, so with Max joining the group, we are also seeing another character as they're leaving. So the kids have kind of branched off. So she's hanging out with Lucas, the fourth friend.
Yes.
No, the third friend. Will's the last. In rank. All right. So she's hanging out with Lucas. And this is when we meet a new character, Billy Hargrove.
Yes.
Billy Hargrove is very unique, because he's a racist. And you're like, oh, fuck, it is the 80s. God damn it. This is one of those slaps in the face right when you realize you're watching something that's made without cell phones. It's just like, oh yeah, people are fucking assholes in the 80s.
Yeah, they really didn't sugarcoat his character either.
And you know what's funny? He's a fucking Power Ranger. Like, he was in the Power Rangers movie as the Red Ranger, and it's just like, dude, he flipped it like totally from one end to the other. He's like, yeah, let's protect everyone. Blah blah blah. Let's the Power Rangers. Go Power Rangers. They're badass soda. all that. Into I hate. That's all. That's all. I hate, and I fucking bench press like 500 pounds because he works out all the time. Listens to Kenny Loggins and thrash metal.
Oh, I know. It's like his entire, like, every time he was on screen, it was like Motley Crue, Def Leppard. It was
a montage of hate. Like later on, you'll see him like doing his hair in his room, and he's fucking like just fucking lifting weights, just being like an angry little white kid. I was like, oh my god, you're a pussy.
And Mike,
he's the new Steve.
And while Mike and Nancy are dealing with the respective losses of 11 and Barb, Will's been experiencing episodes of that apparent hallucination that Chris was talking about earlier from the Upside Down with an enormous tentacled shadow monster, which we actually see teased once again this season. That's kind of been the overarching Thanos of this whole season. It's like we keep getting teased with this big tentacle monster character that supposedly we're finally going to see.
Yeah, I've heard the name already, Vecna, which sounds a lot familiar if you're like a D&D lore person, but I love the speculations. I love watching these YouTube guys just lose their shit.
Oh yeah,
because we make our own speculations and they're public about theirs.
Yeah,
they kind of Mr. Sunday movies. Oh, the Quarter Owls, Batman. I'm just like, you're wrong.
Oh yeah, New Rockstars is bad with that too.
Yeah, so like they're all bad with that. I just like, oh no, that's Billy Hargrove. It's like, maybe it could just be a new character. That's all it could be. Hell, it could be Barb. You know how terrifying that would be if she just rolled up a bitch, just rolled up. You left me, Nancy. But just from the look of the new season, it's like, dude, you guys are throwing everything at the fucking wall and sticking it. Like, I really hope the new season's good.
Well, and that's kind of why I wanted to even do the retrospective of these previous three, because even seeing the trailer for 4, I was like, it feels like they're pulling a little bit of everything from all of these seasons into this new one.
But yeah, she's 11. She's on the run. Well, not really on the run. She's traveling.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that because it's really
eating some Eggos.
Eating some Eggos, killing people by accident. Like the boys or some shit.
Oh God, 11 and the boys.
Oh, she killed him. She fucking ruined
that's
him.
Another show we also started up. So
fucking hilarious.
Keep a lookout for that review
God.
when it's done.
Next time I should have just Alex record me the next time we watch it. Just like just eating
Don't
popcorn.
Sneeze.
Don't sneeze. No superheroes allowed to fucking sneeze. You'll kill a million people.
Okay, yeah, back on track though. Let's see. Joyce and Hopper take Will to see the lab's new director, Dr. Sam Owens, who has been giving Will routine medical exams ever since his return. Owen theorizes that Will's episodes are PTSD brought on by the anniversary of his disappearance. The gate in the lab's basement has been growing, worrying Owens. So yeah, they've also got a gate to the Upside Down in the bottom of this facility.
Yeah, so Owens, I kind of liked. Owens is a mainstay almost. He's not, the Brenner guy, the Dr. Brenner.
Yeah.
The bad guy. He's not the one, pulling the fucking throttle all the way.
Yep.
Do it, make it shit happen. Just beat the kids, just kind of like whooping the kid's ass or some shit. But he's played by Paul Reiser, who's fucking hilarious. He was in a lot of sitcom shows and stuff like that. So seeing him in this and them just pulling like Winona Ryder and all these other motherfuckers is hilarious to me, because it's like, dude, you guys are really pulling some fucking favors.
Oh yeah,
getting these people out and about and
I think
acting.
that's part of the reason that makes this show so enjoyable. Is it's fan service done right, because it's not these characters coming back playing versions of their old roles. It's just like, hey, why don't we get all these old alumni back together, or, all these people that were kind of part of the same ethos, and put them in the show and give them little roles. I think it's just something that gives the show a little bit more genuineness, if that makes sense.
And it does expand a little bit more family wise. We see more of Nancy's parents. We see more of a writer trying to just be a parent instead of
Yelling
a single
and
mom
freaking
who's
out.
freaking the fuck out because her son went to hell, like a Sam Raimi film or some shit.
Yeah, no shit. And then Nancy and Steve have dinner with Barb's parents, who still believe their daughter is missing, which that has to be.
This is the KFC episode. This is what I thought funny because I watched Binging with Babish and he's like, we're gonna, of all the things to pull. He could have pulled a fucking KFC commercial. He's like, no, we're going to do the KFC dinner from 1984 from Stranger Things. It's like, why? Why?
Because he's Babish.
One of the most awkward fucking scenes of television. He's like, we sure do miss Barb. We hired a private detective. He's just like, the fucking colonel, am I right? It's just like, God damn it, Steve. And this is another dynamic I didn't really understand. Why the fuck is she still hanging out with Steve?
Yeah.
Like, she was banging old boy's brother for the longest time.
Well, because Steve's such a good dude.
But not like she was with the other guy.
Yeah.
And then it's just like something happened. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, monster still exists, bitch. Stick with the guy who's helping you kill them. Along with Steve. Create polyamorism in the 80s. Whatever you got to do.
I don't know. They're not far enough down south for the polyamory to really kick in yet.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
The Mormons hadn't come around yet.
A reverse Mormon, yeah.
Yeah, the reverse Mormon. But yeah, and then nice little cap off to this episode. Hopper goes home to his cabin in the woods where he is secretly living with 11.
Yeah.
And that, I remember seeing that scene and I just immediately smiled because the dynamic of the two of them, kind of like father-daughter thing, it works so well.
And this is where, like, your second watch through, you're just, like, getting punched in the stomach every fucking day because... Yep. There's a scene in the second season and some of the first season where we know Hopper's daughter died. We really unsure how, maybe cancer or some kind of disease like that. Mm-hmm. Well, going to like that second watch through, you're looking for like Easter eggs or maybe a little bit more foreshadowing that you missed. And you see that Hopper wears a bracelet, and now he doesn't wear it, but now 11 does. And you're watching it. I'm watching that. I'm just like, God damn it. Like, making me feel shit.
And that's what just makes for good storytelling. It's like they're making us care about these characters, and they're giving, and little moments like that is the showing, not telling thing, where it's like, you don't have to have Hopper going, it's really nice to have you around, yada, yada, yada. It's like, you don't need that dialogue. You just need that one little visual clue of like, now she's wearing his bracelet, which gives you can just fill in the blank. It's like a classic horror movie that didn't show the gore. Fill in the blank.
I like it's good parenting and also terrible parenting. It's like, we're having Eggos and ice cream for dinner. And it's just like, that's terrible, but it's smart because she could flay your fucking mind open with a fucking sneeze.
Yeah, so he's like, what do you want? Eggos? Okay, you can have your fucking Eggos.
Yeah.
Sure thing, whatever you want.
A hell of a product placement.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Still going strong with some Eggos. Benjamin Badger did that one, too, and it looked disgusting.
Dude, well, see, here's the thing, and this is the reason why it even took me so long to even watch Stranger Things, is by the time season 2 came out, the hype was on. Like, season 1 hype was kind of a slow burn. By the time they were promoting season 2, you couldn't escape Stranger Things. Yeah. And that was the moment I did my little mental punk rock writing it off thing. As I remember walking down the aisle and seeing Stranger Things Eggos, and not fully understanding the connection, but just making the thing of like, God damn this fucking show. I can't even go down the food aisle without seeing this goddamn show everywhere. No, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching this stupid ass show.
You sounded like a grandparent when this Kiss came out. Goddamn clowns and Satan's service just being on the cereal boxes, the goddamn television. Satanists.
Satan.
You've turned into an old man.
I did. I have very old man tendencies. I know.
I hate you, kids. I was hip too once. You're becoming Grandpa Simpson. I was hip too.
I was hip too once.
I knew the stuff, the things.
I watched MTV back when they had music. Oh, God. All right. Look, we got a lot of episodes to go through, so let's keep this shit rolling. Episode 2. Flashbacks reveal that 11 escaped from the Upside Down, but was forced to hide from agents. In the present, it is Halloween, and 11 asks Hopper if she can go trick-or-treating, but Hopper insists that she must remain hidden
no.
until he can reach an agreement with Owens, allowing her to live a normal life, frustrating the homebound 11. So, yeah, so he lets her eat whatever she wants, but he has no problem with putting himself in danger, being like, no, you're fucking staying home.
Yeah. We see that in season 3 a lot when she's going out with old boy a little bit more. And I'm just like, he's become that dad. Keep the fucking door open. Like he's being that guy. And it's just like, didn't we all just fight demons together like 2 years in a row? It's like, it's fine, man. Like, and it's not like I'm going to find another girlfriend when she asked me what my childhood was like. It's like,
I know, right?
That's kind of the fucked up thing about this show is like, it's the kids from It, because now they're all bound together in a weird fucked up way, because it's like they can't have meaningful relationships after this. What did you do during school? Oh, I went to school, I had a bully, blah blah blah, this and that. I played sports, so, with the high school.
Right.
Hey, what'd you do? We killed a demon, a flower-faced demon who looked like he was in the Resident Evil games. It's like, honestly, if you think about it, that's what they fucking did.
Yeah.
And like, they can't say that shit out loud. They'll put a jacket on him and throw him in a pillow room.
It'll be nice and soft, though.
It'll be nice and soft. You can bash your head against the pillows until you hit concrete. But no, this is kind of forces them together in a fucked up way.
It really does.
Because like, if they ever do a Stranger Things like movie, they need to do it like It, where it's like 25 years in the future. It's like, hey, remember when we killed that thing and we leveled it down and killed the mayor and did all this? It's like, yeah, I remember. I'm surprised the government hasn't killed us yet.
All the while, more pumpkin fields rot across town, and Hopper discovers an organic substance similar to the substance he's seen in the lab, now in the fields. And Nancy wants to tell Barb's parents about the truth of her death, but Steve says it is a bad idea, as the agents might come after them if they tell anyone the truth. Instead, they attend a Halloween party where Nancy gets drunk and berates Steve for his lack of empathy for Barb's parents.
Oh, dude, she's partying hard.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. She's got the fucking sunglasses on, and she's just chugging it. And like, if you look at Nancy's, let's say, about 5'1".
Yeah.
Maybe 90 pounds.
Little lady.
Because she is a tiny fucking human being. And she's just knocking them the fuck back. And like, you remember the gif of them dancing?
Yes.
That was the funniest fucking one. Like, of all the gifs, that was the one that just gyrating back and forth. It was fucking hilarious.
But yeah, Steve leaves and tells Jonathan to take Nancy home. The boys go trick-or-treating and are later joined by Max. Will is having another episode during the night and tells Mike about his visions, leading Mike to admit that he's been trying to contact 11. Yeah, so at this point now, so it is kind of interesting, because it seems like even through all this, 11 would be trying to reach the crew.
Yeah.
But she seems to be pretty content just hanging with Hopper.
I think it's more of the danger of letting the boys know, because Hopper the whole time is just like, look, we need to play this right. If they think you're still around, you're putting them in danger, because the government went after them.
Yep.
Went after Mike's parents. Like, they surrounded the fucking house. So like, there is a danger there. It's not really a monster or danger. It's the man.
Yeah. Yep, and then a little bit later on, 11 does try to contact Mike through her powers, but it's unsuccessful. And then Dustin returns home after trick-or-treating to find a strange creature in his trash can.
A pollywog.
That winds up being a demodog.
Yeah, fucking demon dog.
Yeah.
But I love the intro to this one, because he's just like, oh, look, he's fine. He's so pretty, and oh fuck, I think I killed this thing once.
Oh yeah, no, he's just totally down for it.
And
about it, let's take a step back and really put this in context. They fought demons. They know that there's this weird thing called the upside down, all this other shit. They know weird shit's out there. On Halloween night, Dustin comes back and sees this weird creature digging through his trash can. And what does the motherfucker do? I'm going to keep it and name it. No, bitch. You turn around and go, hey, weird shit's happening again.
This is why Dustin's the number 2. All right. He's willing to take risks. He's willing to help the group. All right. And he also has these weird side adventures that we see in season 3.
Yes.
Because he has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Over the radio. Who's really into the never-ending story for some reason. But like, he keeps going off. You know, have you ever noticed that Dustin is like one of the few characters who has his own goddamn adventure?
Well, yeah, because he's like, fuck you guys, I don't need you.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's just like he's got all the time to himself. And we do see like Lucas. When Lucas gets on, we meet his family, mainly the little sister who becomes pivotal later on. But it kind of like Dustin, his whole vibe is just, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is kind of the perfect 80s kid.
Yeah. Like he's not a latchkey kid. You know, he's got a structured home, but he's just like, I can't tell anybody about my special thing. One, Lucas is going to get jealous, which I'm pretty sure him and Max have a thing. Mike has his thing with 11. 11 has her thing, just being 11. Will is a chump. Everyone's having a good time. Like
Poor Will.
Everyone's doing well except for Dustin.
Yeah,
and that's what creates the arc for him, which I really like
because
like it comes back forth like in episode 4 or 5 where he's just like, why the fuck do you guys care? It's mine. Or like he really does. He gets that mentality very quick. Leave me the fuck alone about this. All right? Go dress up like Ghostbusters again, motherfucker, without me.
And so episode 3 flashbacks reveal that Hopper found 11 in the woods and agreed to take care of her in his grandparents' old hunting cabin, and she agreed to not leave the cabin. In the present, Bob encourages Will to face his fears, not understanding the extent of Will's episodes.
The greatness of the 80s of owning 2 house properties.
Yes.
What a time to be alive.
And but yeah, I just found that funny. Bob's trying.
Bob, man, goddamn it, dude. He could have been the greatest stepdad in the whole fucking series.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It would have been Bob and Steve for a knockout dragout.
Yeah, he would have been Greg fucking Brady, man. He would have been the shit.
Oh yeah,
and I do like Will giving a little pushback, a little bit, but he's like, Bob's trying, you know?
Yeah,
like, he's really trying.
He just doesn't get it.
And the oldest son is like, that's great. Like, he's cool as shit about it. And then you do see that kind of like, they kind of butt heads a little bit on how to handle situations, especially with Will.
Right.
It's like, Bob is like, hey, do this. And his brother's like, no. Crank some fucking metal. And create your own vibe, man. Like I did.
Yeah.
That's why I look like Ed Furlong.
Yeah, I forgot. His brother is a really good... he's one of the other good members of the cast, too.
Yes. And he was kind of the outsider going in because Will was part of the group of his age. You know, he had the strong four-man group.
Yeah.
But Steve and Nancy, you know, in a class role, you know what I'm saying? It's like they're popular, he's not. So even when they're doing the whole let's kill something together, even at the end of it, it's just like you don't really see them together until later on. Which I will say, it gets kind of awkward as shit seeing them get older. Especially someone like Will, who they try to make look small constantly, and then now he's like 6'2". He's like,
hi, I'm Will.
you pussy.
Who's the pussy now?
He should be playing basketball and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that goes into this episode too. Is this is where we meet Billy Hargrove, the student.
Yes,
Billy Hargrove, the student, is an American badass. like, throw away, get rid of the racism part. Oh, he's crushing it. He's got the fucking mullet. He's got the fucking jean jacket. He's cranking fucking AC/DC, Metallica, whatever the fuck. Motorhead. Yeah, man. Those fucking nutsacks in fucking the Midwest don't know that shit. Fucking losers. These fucking losers never heard that shit. All they heard was Kiss from the 70s.
Hey,
they were big in the Midwest.
They were.
Garth Brooks loves them. But like, it's so funny because it's like, dude, this is the new popular kid. You know, Steve was the good-looking guy, hometown hero, blah blah blah. Had the nice girl and all this. But Billy shows up. I'm fucking all of them. Like that's how he comes out.
He's like, Where's the bitches?
Yeah, he probably did do a fucking little toot before he got on the goddamn school grounds. Because where are they from? Him and Max are a military family. They're not full brother and sister. They're half brother and sister.
Right.
And he fucking hates Max.
And the feeling's pretty mutual.
Yeah. Okay.
To a point.
Yeah. So this is what I like about the character development. Just going into Billy Hargrove is, all right, he's an asshole. He's a fucking racist. But he's, top tier, popularity.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way in the 80s high school.
I mean, just 80s and current society even.
Kids with the TikToks are all popular now. Who gives a shit? But there's a scene where they're on they're playing basketball. And Steve is good at basketball. But Billy's better.
Yeah.
And I do like the fact that Billy is just stomping his ass, but he picks Steve up. He's like, look, this is what you got to do. And, he's showing Steve, and I'm just like, please don't be a prick at the end of this. I know Billy's an asshole. I hope he gets hit by a car. But, I don't want Steve to go back to being a fucking prick again.
Yeah.
I want him to be the strong, single mother he was meant to be.
That was the best joke revolving around.
Oh my
this
god,
series.
who's the best single mom of all time? Steve from Stranger Things. He's a Girl Scout champ.
Yep, and at this point, Dustin is still kind of fucking around with Dart, and he shows them to the other kids, and Will concludes that this is definitely from the Upside Down, as it makes a similar noise to one Will keeps hearing in his hallucinations. And at this point, Hopper accuses of Owens of failing to keep the gate contained, becoming increasingly concerned about the pumpkin fields. So the pumpkin fields rotting they're figuring out as a direct correlation to the Upside Down gate that's in the secret laboratories.
Yeah, so it's just seeping through.
Yep.
You
didn't put enough duct tape on it, damn it.
Yeah. The Army doesn't use duct tape; they use 100-mile-an-hour tape.
They didn't put enough on it.
But no, so this is actually where it's kind of fucked up, because this is when I learned that Stranger Things, the plot, the broad plot of secret government testing kids, weird fucking animals, is based on a true story.
Yeah.
There is a facility, Mantioch. They had confessed to yes, we did nasty shit, to get answers. And it's like, yeah, I understand that. But what the fuck is that creature on the goddamn ground? And people have been speculating it's a fucking demon dog or some shit. Because
demon dog.
Because if you look at the what Stranger Things is based on, the fucking animal that you see, that you pull up in the conspiracy of everything, is just it looks like a monster, but it's probably some just hairless animal. But it goes back to the government did test on people in the 80s and 70s. They did do bad shit, especially MK Ultra-esque things. All right.
Tune into a separate episode for Chris. All I have to do is just intro it, and I can just turn my mic off, and we'll just let Chris roll.
MK Ultra isn't a real conspiracy. All it was throwing hookers out of windows. You'd be surprised how true that statement is.
Frustrated with being held up, Eleven leaves to go look for Mike. And at the school, she sees him arguing with Max and mistakes it as flirting.
Yep. Heartbroken,
she leaves, and Will suffers another episode and follows Bob's advice to confront the shadow monster. But it possesses him. God damn it. Episode 3 of season 2, Will's already fucked up again.
Yeah. But I think what was crazy is Bob's advice was solid, because he thought Will was being bullied. It's nah, man, kick his ass. Will, you're gonna be a big ass dude, man. Fuck him up.
Yeah.
Teach him who's boss. Tell them other boys, yeah, this gang this motherfucker up. Let's whip his ass.
You'll be tall in a couple years.
You'll be taller than me, because I'll be 6 feet underground. I'm Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings. I do not die in a stupid fucking show written by fucking carpet cleaner brothers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Sean Astin, goddammit.
I will say, because again, spoilers for season 3. If you've not watched season 3, I don't know why you're even listening to this talking about season 2, but it's season 3, Will doesn't get fucked up. It's he actually doesn't even play that big of a role in the season.
That's probably good, because his mind would have been gone.
Well, that's what I'm sitting here going. So again, I'm watching these 2 seasons back to back, and I was watching it with my ex, and I remember even asking her midway through this season, being like, Is Will just the punching bag of this show?
For the first half of the fucking series, yeah.
Yeah,
He takes a fucking beating.
he does.
I would like that.
Will deserves just to sit on the bench.
I want that to be a backhanded Easter egg in the new season. It's like, hey, why is Will's very big? They're like, why is that? And it's just like, because he's got a demon inside of him. He goes,
Oh my God! Yes,
he goes from being
he's turning into Slender Man.
Yeah, he goes from being Will the Wise in the dungeons into Will the fucking warrior leader. Everyone goes down a peg.
Leader.
Will the fucking leader.
Episode 4, Joyce and the kids awaken an unconscious Will, and Joyce takes Will home but finds him acting strangely, drawing scribbles on pages and demanding that the house be kept cold. God damn it, Joyce.
Joyce had a job. She had a man. And then it went to shit again.
It's like the non-intentional version of what's happening in South Park with Cartman's mom. It's like just everything is falling apart just for the kid.
Yeah. And he's basically drawing a pathway of what the underground tunnels look like, or the underneath.
And what's really cool is we don't find that out till later. But yeah, he is.
And how do we find that out? Sean
Bob.
Astin,
motherfucking Bob.
But like, you feel so goddamn bad. Like in a realistic standpoint, you just feel fucking bad for Winona Ryder throughout this show.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, you know her.
Make it like a real world scenario. Her kid is having seizures, okay? And it's like he finally just got out of the hospital. He's on medication. He's rolling fine for a few days.
When the shoe drops.
It's like you finally took that good shower. You had that good dinner. You wake up the next morning, then damn, it's right back in it. And so it's like you can absolutely put yourself in that scenario and just be like, damn, woman, I'm sorry.
And then it just gets so much fucking worse.
It does. So Joyce calls Hopper, and together they discover the scribbles line up. Hopper recognizes that the drawings represent vines, and he leaves. That's literally what it has written. Hopper recognizes the drawings represent vines, and he leaves, presumably heading toward the pumpkin patch. Nancy and Jonathan are caught by agents when they try to contact Barb's mother and are taken to the lab, where Owen shows them the portal to the Upside Down and admits Barb died in the Upside Down and says he wanted to prevent foreign governments from learning of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess at this point, Nancy and Steve didn't know that she was killed in the Upside Down.
Yeah, you just assume so.
Yeah.
Because Hopper's the one who found her, I believe, with Will, because, she is dead.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks, because you're like, there was a little bit of hope that you didn't 86 a fan favorite character for some goddamn reason so quick.
I don't know why she was a fan favorite. She was in like 1.5 episodes.
I think it's because she was likable and being treated like shit.
Yeah, true.
She's like a dog.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. They did her wrong, but at the same time, I'm sitting here going, I'm like, at some point, the love has to kind of slow down.
I remember the memes. I remember the memes for that was Justice for Barb.
Oh, I know. I put that in the episode description of season 1.
Yeah, Justice for Barb. Meanwhile, the next favorite meme is just Nancy and Steve just fucking vibing at a party, drunker and fuck. Wow, what a turn, huh, on the fandom.
So at this point, they are released, and it is revealed that Nancy secretly recorded Owen's admission. An infatuated Lucas tries to get closer to Max, but her violent older brother, stepbrother rather, Billy, intervenes.
Yeah, with a fucking with a V8 Pontiac, I believe.
Yeah,
I think it's a Firebird he's driving.
And these are the moments in the show you just go, they're really going there, aren't they?
They fucking better. It's going to show up eventually.
Well, no, there's ways for shows to not even like tackle that subject, but it's pretty interesting. But they wanted to tackle that part of the subject.
Well, I think it's because, do you want to make him hateable?
Yeah,
because he is a villain. He's a realistic villain. Mm-hmm. We have the fictional, Demogorgons and stuff like that. But I think it's good to have a villain on two fronts.
That makes sense.
Maybe not as intensity.
Yeah.
But still two villains. Like Spider-Man 2. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man 2 had two villains. One, Doc Ock, great, over-the-top villain. But you still had James Franco.
Yeah.
Still a villain.
Yep.
Still doing the villain thing.
Even though he wasn't in a costume, he wasn't a goblin, he was Peter's villain.
Yeah. Like you need the villain for the top and you need the villain for the bottom in this case. Because eventually, like, if you were to play it out, like, let's say, like, 11 came back a little like 2 days early or some
Right.
shit and saw this piece of shit try to run her friend, she'd rip that car in half and go after his soul.
Yeah.
Like she would do some Mortal Kombat shit and just rip him in half. And Lucas would be like, damn girl, chill. And Max is like, what the fuck?
Oh no, Max would just be the realest of them all. Because at this point, I don't even think Max at this point realizes what the other kids have gone through yet.
No, she has no clue.
Yeah, because they again, it's that whole situation of like, we can't let the outsiders really know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like even there was like a point in time they mentioned something and she's like, what are you talking about? They're like, nothing.
Yeah, there's a few scenes where it's like that because she knows like, hey, I know there's a secret between you guys. I'm not trying to be invasive about it, but
you're also being really fucking weird and I'm trying to be really cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to be cool with you fuckers. I'm the coolest person in the school.
Yeah,
like
so let me in on the secrets. I'm being cool. I want to know.
Yeah. And I think this is the episode where 11 meets the group of superpowered assholes.
Possibly, because it says upon returning to the cabin, 11 argues with Hopper over sneaking out because she snuck out to see that the argument going on.
Oh, this is where she finds the box.
Yes, accumulating with her destroying the cabin's windows in a fit of rage. While cleaning up the mess the following morning, she finds Hopper's research into her biological mother, Terry Ives, and tries to contact Terry with her powers. So at this point is when she starts realizing that he's trying to actually make steps to actually try to find her lineage and get her back to her parents. Which, that was one of the more heartbreaking things, and we'll get to that episode, but that whole thing that went down with that was confusing, and then once you finally understood everything, was very heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, horrified Dustin finds that Dart has broken out of his cage and devoured his pet cat. No shit, Dustin. What did you expect, my dude? I love Dustin. He's probably one of my favorite of the kids. But at the same time, Dustin, my dude. This is when I would have a Steve moment and just sit him down and be like, bro, what did you expect, my man?
Well, if I remember right, he kept it in a box.
Yeah.
He kept it in a box, and then he was able to keep it like underground in like a weird like dug-in doghouse.
Yeah, he kept it like in his basement. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah. And that's how he got his cat.
That's a cat.
Yep. And basically, this is when he really finds out it's an infant Demogorgon. It's actually not a demo dog. It's actually a Demogorgon.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Hopper digs into one of the pumpkin fields and finds a tunnel leading to the Upside Down. Of course it does. Halloween pumpkin patch upside down. It's gotta happen.
If I was Hopper, I'd been like, guys, get the shotguns. We're going down there and taking care of this now.
Well, you wouldn't have had time, man. Episode 5, Hopper becomes trapped in the tunnels in the Upside Down and passes out. Yeah. Mike sleeps over at the Byers' house to help Will recover, and Will has a vision of Hopper, leading Joyce to recruit Bob's help to determine the meaning. And Bob identifies the network as a map of Hawkins and the pumpkin field as the place Hopper was going. And this is the moment I fell in love with Bob as a character. Yeah. Because Will has been just putting up these sketches all over, and they slowly start figuring out Bob, and Joyce has been hiding all of this from Bob. She's just been like, no, because like you said earlier, there's a normal guy that actually likes me, that doesn't think I'm crazy. He likes my kid. He doesn't need to know about this crazy bullshit. He's going to like not love us, and he's going to run. And then he comes in because he basically barges in. He's like, you're acting weird. Let me in. And finally he walks in and he's just like, what is all this? And she gives him like the most brief rundown that makes her sound absolutely nuts. He just takes one look at it and goes, oh, this is a map of Hawkins. Oh, with my yada yada, it starts pulling in his specific nerd brain. Yeah. And that's what I liked about it. He wasn't a nerd as in like what we are, comic books and movies and TV. He wasn't like that. He was into history and the history of the town and agriculture and cityscapes. He was a nerd on that front, so he was able to just look at all these squiggly lines and his nerd brain just goes, oh, it's a map. This is Hawkins. This is our town. I know this exactly. Yada 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 yada. Boom. And that is one of the reasons I really liked him, and sold me on the show because they actually gave a character like that a shining light.
Yeah.
Because half of the time when that kind of character is being played up, what's shown immediately after? A character like maybe Hopper doing a smirk in the background as he just kind of walks away. No one did it. They were all just like, oh shit. Word, Bob. Thanks. They treated it with respect, and I dug that.
And, like another aspect of it is just like, I think Bob would be probably fucking cool with all this. Like,
he clearly was.
Like, if he kept living.
Yeah.
Like, I think he would have been solid.
Oh,
Joyce,
yeah.
I understand your fucking kid is nuts.
He's a ride or die.
Yeah, he's ride or die. Sees her at whatever the fucking store she works at, some weird little Christmas thrift store or some shit.
Joyce must be slinging it, man.
Oh, fuck. So Winona Ryder, man. If you've seen the movie Heathers, she still got it.
And so at this point, let's see. Nancy and Jonathan take the tape of Owen's admission to Murray, who realizes that the public will not believe the unbelievable story and suggests watering it down to make it more palatable.
Let's talk about Murray's compound.
Yeah.
So he lives in a doom prepper-esque compound made of concrete. And it kind of looks like a trailer on the outside, but you can see he's done a lot of work. But I love his little mock-up video camera on the outside when Nancy and Jonathan. I love Nancy's look like this guy's a fucking psycho. Yeah. And you're just like, Jonathan's like, hey, look, it's going to be fine. This guy's going to... And Nancy, one of the writers in the writer room, like, Nancy just says, yeah, I'm going to be fine. I got a fucking heater on me. Because that's the one thing about Nancy that's the fucking hilarious thing. She don't carry a bat with nails in it. She doesn't have magic fucking powers or a weird slingshot. She carries a fucking 38 revolver, a pig sticker, we're also known as. All right, a fucking 38 special. And she just was like, yeah, ride or die.
Let's go.
Let's go. And I love that the guy, the conspiracy guy, is just so cool with it. Like, all right, cool. All right. You showed me your thing. Now I don't think you're part of the government, but you might still be. So let's try to work this out. It's going to take a while. Let me pull some research and all this. He's doing research and shit. And Nancy and Jonathan decide to stay at this weirdo's fucking shack. And he's like, yeah, you can use that room. And they fuck in his house. Like, how fucking weird is that? You met a stranger. He let you in the house, and you decide to fuck in his house.
When you got to break something off, you got to break something off, man.
God damn
it. You're talking about horny teenagers in the 80s, man.
But this
you gave them four walls and a door.
But he also has a camera on the front door. Which makes you think he doesn't have a camera everywhere else on the goddamn house like a psycho?
They're not thinking about that, man.
Of course they're not. They're thinking about...
Again, you gave them four walls and a door. That's all kids in the 80s
Nancy
needed.
bought protection but forgot condoms. Like, honestly, man.
Nancy brought protection but forgot condoms. That's fucking great.
I keep that motherfucking thing on me.
Oh,
you know they have like a weird. She probably has like a weird dynamic in life later on. Like if you was to write the fan fiction of this show after like 10 years, she'd be into some weird shit. Like just like every other person, it's just like, oh no, I don't get off unless I kill a demon. Like like I just can't do it. Just can't do it.
Oh man.
She likes to play Russian roulette with people or some shit.
And at this point, Lucas reveals the truth of Will's disappearance to Max. So yeah, Lucas is starting to let Max in a little bit. She gets a little freaked out, but she's also a ride or die. She's like, fuck it. Let's go.
Because he wants a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Everyone else is doing fine. Dustin's got his weird dog. Will's got his powers.
He winds up trapping Dart in this basement and enlists Steve help to recapture it. 11 tracks down, in which I love all the scenes of Steve and Dustin.
Yeah.
Because he slowly starts, because again, like you said, everyone's got someone. Dustin kind of found Steve.
Yeah.
Steve kind of takes him under his wing because they're dropping like these meat pieces, like ground beef or whatever, trying to like lure the dog, whatever, back to the thing. And they're kind of having like a little bit of a bro moment where they're like, how do you even talk to girls, man? And he's just like, you just have to. You
just
do it. He's like, but I don't understand.
It's the hair.
Yeah, he's like it's the hair. He's just like, what do you do? And he's just like, it's a secret, man. He's like, no, tell me. And he like tells him, and one of them was like the Farrah Fawcett hold spray or something like that. He's like, whoa. And he turns to him, he's like, and if you tell anyone I told you that, you're fucking dead.
Yeah, I'll literally kick the shit out of you. You toothless fuck. And that's what I feel bad about the actor, because he had lost his front teeth. And they just didn't bother to give him like a prosthetic or anything like that. And I'm just like, that makes it more real.
Yeah.
Because a kid in like late elementary school, early middle school is going to be still losing teeth.
Yeah.
And like, this motherfucker lost all 4, and his mouth is just like gum.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think that's a condition he has.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like a actual health thing. But that again adds to the realness, which again leads me to a weird.
Him.
It does, but it also leads to a weird problem I also had with season 3.
Yeah.
There's a weird thing they do with that also. So anyway, season 2. But yeah, so all of the Steve and Dustin moments top notch, because I think even near the end of this, like Dustin winds up getting a date to like the prom or something, and like Steve's in the car to like give him that pep talk. He's like, get in there, man. Hair looks good. He's like, so it's like it comes full circle. So again, best single mom of the whole series.
Yeah. He keeps a baseball bat with nails in it.
Yeah.
In the trunk.
Oh yeah.
Because he keeps that motherfucking thing on him.
Just like a good mom should. 11 tracks down Terry and Becky Ives. Terry and 11 are able to communicate using their psychic powers, and Terry reveals to 11 that she tried to rescue her at the lab and was subjected to brain damaging dose of shock therapy by Brenner.
Yeah.
And that was the moment that it was like, because at first when they kind of show up and they're not like talking, you're like, oh, her mom's just in some weird vegetative state. And then when they were able to communicate through telepathic stuff, and you found out the whole thing that went through her mom, you're just like, oh my God, these people are fucking insane.
Oh yeah, Matthew Modine was a Nazi doctor in this fucking thing.
Dude, it was insanity. But no, this definitely was the gut punch episode.
Yeah.
Going watching all that, and really cool visuals too, because I remember like there was a lot of like black liquid that 11 was like sinking into, and like all really cool artistic visuals and all those things too.
The whole like the darkness seeping through the town really gets played up pretty good when it's nighttime in the show. If you go back and watch it in the nighttime, there is like something lurking in the air while you're watching, especially during the Halloween scene. Yeah. It's like something's not, vibing.
Well, in some scenes, it's the tentacle monster.
Yeah, but like when it's nighttime in Hawkins, it's something's not right. The music changes. If you listen to it, it kind of gives off this infrasound. Yeah. Like you watching a horror movie, because you can feel that. Like if you've ever watched a horror movie, especially that's been made past the year 2000, they add a sound in there to make you very uncomfortable during certain scenes. Yep. But like the Duffer Brothers did that with this. I found out later on. Okay. So they're trying to force a vibe on the show on the top. Just the bottom will always be the scariest part. Right. There's monsters running around. There's a giant tentacle monster. There's a dude who looks like he has no skin. Like it's the bad place. Yeah. But like on the top, it's just like, we can make it feel very uncomfortable very quickly. Mm-hmm. And
11 learns that there was another girl trained just like her. And all the while, Joyce, Bob, Will, and Mike rescue Hopper. Those scientists from the lab soon arrive and set the tunnels on fire. As this happens, Will collapses and begins convulsing and screaming in agony.
Because he's part of it.
He is connected to it. He is the Upside Down.
And kudos to the government for jumping in and heloing that motherfucker out that much. Because it's like the government could have just let him to die. The government could have left them all to die. Yeah. That would have been the smart plan.
And also, I've only been just saying episode numbers, but this whole season has had really cool callbacks to popular 80s culture. Like this episode was episode 5, Dig Dug. Yeah. So they took the idea of like the classic arcade game, and when you really think about what was going on in the pumpkin patch and everything else, you're like,
did you ever play Dig Dug?
Oh yeah, like a mofo.
It's a weird game.
Oh yeah, it's an exterminating game.
It's a Psycho game where you dig underground and kill small creatures with a bite pump.
Yeah, an exterminating game.
Yeah, I'll look out for that on the Terminex guy. And then when I find a mouse, I'm just going to blow them up with air.
Yeah.
God damn.
That's what Dale Gribble did.
Dale Gribble had chemicals. Naturally murdering animals.
And he also had pocket sand.
Pocket sand.
All right, episode 6. Will is rushed to the lab.
I had to do it.
Chris is over here jamming the Hank Trill in his head.
Trill. Pocket sand.
Will is rushed to the lab demonstrating memory loss. Owen theorizes that the shadow monster is a virus that is spread to Will's brain, is controlling him, and that the creature from the Upside Down shares a hive mind, and therefore damaging the tunnels will be lethal to the now infected Will. And the thing was, I can understand how this would be a little bit confusing to folks. I understood it clear as day because the whole hive mind and all this shit being connected is a big part of Venom from Spider-Man. It's a lot of his kind of backstory. So as soon as I started talking about this weird symbiotic relationship and hive mind, I'm like, oh shit, okay, the Upside Down has symbiotes and it's like Venom. Got it.
This is a pretty wild part of it is so that you get the connection and everything, but I just like Will is just like slowly deteriorating into like an evil Will, and I'm just like this evil bad Will, and I'm just like, just kick his ass. Like he's probably 50 pounds.
Throw him,
Bob. If you love this woman, you will punch her kid in the chest and tell him to shut the fuck up.
And later tonight, you will punch her cervix. Let's see. Nancy and Jonathan spend the night at Murray's, who forces them to admit their feelings for one another. That was also a funny scene, is him sitting them down and being like, listen.
Yeah, it could have been a whole lot worse. Like, you guys were fucking last night. Do you guys even love each other? Like, just to be a prick about it. He's like, I have the video. I have the video.
That would have actually been great.
So this is why you don't fuck in strangers' houses.
All right, and then the trio send out copies of Owen's admission to numerous newspapers around the country. Nancy and Jonathan discover Will's drawings upon entering the Byers house. Lucas and Max regroup with Dustin and Steve, and the group attempt to lure Dart into the junkyard. And this point, Max apologizes to Lucas for being so hostile, explaining that Billy's violence results from his father remarrying into Max's mother. So yeah, Billy's just got a big old stick up his ass because his dad remarried his mom, and now he's got a younger sister. Cry me a river.
That and his dad is a army captain. You find out, and
I think you find that out in the next season.
Yeah, but he also whoops his fucking ass.
Yeah.
Like, as badass as Billy is, he takes a beating.
Yeah.
And that's why he's a badass. And like that's why he's a fucking psycho. He's just like, well, I can't kill my dad. Or maybe I can. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's that kid in the back of his mind.
Yeah.
He's Ian Scott from Slayer.
All right, there you go.
Man, his dad must have really beat his ass as a kid.
Dart arrives back at the group's horror, flanked by a pack of adolescent monsters.
Yes, this is kind of like the first time we actually see them as a pack, which I think is pretty cool because we saw the Demogorgon as a bipedal creature who kind of just hops around.
Yep.
This is like their toddler-esque version.
The Warriors.
Well, like they're small, they become like dogs, and they become like people. You know, so they evolve.
Yeah.
And like seeing them this way kind of reminds me of there's a scene in Aliens where we all know the alien from Alien is the xenomorph from Alien.
Yeah.
Is like a human. You know, it's bipedal. You know, it does this, and it's structured like a human being. Later on in the Aliens franchise, we see that they can take the form of anything really. Especially when they kill a cat or a dog.
Yeah.
So now you have dog-esque xenomorphs as opposed to people-esque. And I thought that was a pretty cool callback.
Yeah.
To just like changing it just a little bit to give it a little bit more dynamism. And this whole fucking series is just pulls from the 80s horror genre.
But they do it so good though.
They do. Like a lot of it's like it kind of reminds me of Cujo. A lot of it Pet Cemetery. I got a lot of vibes from that.
I can see that.
A lot of Cronenberg kind of stuff with the body horror and everything, especially with the spitting up slugs thing they do. And I was like, this is pretty elaborate, like for them to pull from so many sources of information when it comes to like 80s horror and action and stuff like that, because it does have a little bit of 80s action in there.
Oh yeah. And especially because the group is cornered until the pack just unexpectedly runs away, and then Will discovers a location that the monster prevents him from seeing. Unaware that the monster is manipulating Will, Owen sends a team in to investigate, and the team is then attacked by the adolescent monsters who make their way into the lab.
Yeah, this is pretty fucked up. This is where it takes a turn. So now it's a race against time.
Yep.
To get the fuck out of there.
But we make a quick detour in episode 7 when 11 travels to Chicago, Illinois to find the other girl from Terry's memories named Callie.
Yeah.
Realizing that they have similar tattoos and they are both experimented on by Brenner, 11 and Callie consider themselves sisters. Callie can project images into people's minds and lives and lives among the street gang that seeks revenge on Brenner. 11 reveals that Brenner is dead, so the gang decides to kill the man who tortured Terry instead. So that's kind of funny how she's just like, no, he's dead. They're like, all right, fuck it. Well, we're still angry. We got to fuck up someone.
And this is the problem I had with the gang. I understand the whole, all right, let's go after the people that did this to us. Okay, we found somebody who was one of us. Let's add them to the group. But at no fucking point are they like, can we tell anyone? We literally have magic powers.
Yeah.
We could show these powers as proof of concept. I'm like, 60 minutes to fuck up. Let's get this going. Put me on MSNBC, CNN, whatever the fuck you need to do.
Well, Callie at least helps 11 hone her abilities by demonstrating that channeling her anger is the key to strengthening her powers.
Yes.
And then after 11 uses her powers to find the gang's target named Ray, the gang travels to Ray's apartment and then kills him. 11 then begins to choke Ray with her powers, leading him to claim that Brenner is still alive. 11 refuses to to kill him. I thought they said or showed it to his apartment and killed him. 11 refuses to kill Ray after seeing a photo of his 2 young daughters who were discovered that at the same moment to be contacting the police, and refuses to allow Callie to kill him as well. The gang flees to their hideout, and Callie insists 11 either stay and avenge her mother or return to Hawkins. 11 has a vision of Mike and Hopper's plight at the lab and decides to return, while Callie and the gang escape from police. And to the best of my knowledge, that's the last time we really see them.
Yeah, so they're in their little hideaway, and they do the whole
Their little crack house.
Yeah, the crack house, a trap, if you will, to stay hip. But no, one of them has an ability to kind of like I think it's Callie who can mask what a person can see, and they're able to go like invisible in a way. They can't be perceived,
right? Which
is a pretty cool power.
Yeah,
it's like a lesser mutant power you'd see in like a old series X-Men comic or something like that. And you don't really see a lot of what else other people can do. You see like little tricks and stuff, but you don't see like a big thing that they can do, which kind of sucks. I hope they bring them back for season 4 for just like a quick little thing of them being gunned down by cops or something. And with you saying that, that kind of makes me think we never got conclusive on what the fuck happened to Brenner.
No.
So that could be bleed into season 4.
Very true. Yeah, because a lot of people are saying that a lot of stuff from all the seasons are kind of coming to head in these last 2. So we'll see. Episode 8, the pack of creatures attacks the lab, killing most of the scientists. Realizing that Will is a spy for the monster, Mike convinces Joyce to sedate Will to prevent the creature from attacking them. Mike, Joyce, Hopper, Bob, and Owens take Will's unconscious body to the lab's security room and barricade themselves from the creatures. As the lab power goes out, Bob volunteers to reset the breakers to allow the group to escape. Bob's mission succeeds, allowing Mike, Joyce, Hopper, and Will to escape. So at that point, Bob's even stepping on up and being like, "Fuck yeah, I'm in this. I'm gonna do the shit." Which also kind of goes to show what you were saying earlier. It's like if he were still alive, which I think happens in the next episode. He would have been fine. he held his own. He was a little bit of a weird nerd, but at the same time, he was like, "Fuck it, I'm here." Because
He shot Aston. God damn it.
Yeah, well, again, because Joyce must be breaking some off for him to be sticking around for all this.
If I find it, like, if you watch the show today or two, it's like Hopper gets a thing about, oh, well, you were with Bob. She's like, well, I never fucked Bob. I'm just like, man, burn in hell, bitch. Like, you piece of shit.
Bob deserved to have his house rocked.
Yeah, you treated him like a shitty sugar daddy.
Dr. Owenson stays behind to guard Bob out of the way. However, that happens immediately after. However, the monsters attack and maul him to death in front of Joyce, leaving her devastated, leaving us all devastated. Because goddamn it,
for Bob.
Yes, justice for Bob. God damn it, that's going to be in this description.
He traveled from the Shire to Mordor with Elijah Wood on his fucking back. Like, he's the shit. I know you don't know what I'm talking about, but he's the shit.
The survivors are rescued by Nancy, Jonathan, Steve, Dustin, Lucas, and Max, then all return back to the Byers' house. Desperate to seek revenge on the Shadow Master, who Dustin realizes is the equivalent to the Mind Flayer in Dungeons & Dragons, the group theorizes that the Mind Flayer wishes to spread into this universe and that killing it would kill the creature connected to it, including Will. So yeah, you're a big Dungeons and Dragons fan. Explain the Mind Flayer. How does that at least work in the game?
So the Mind Flayer is just one of many boss characters in a storyline of D&D. So it's kind of hard to describe how it's played in the game because it's all up to the DM. A DM can do what's called one pulls, where they can pull one character aside and say, "Hey, you're the one. You drew the black card. You know, you're on the back end. So if something happens to you in a specific way, this is what's going to happen." That character has knowledge of that, but that doesn't affect the overall quest of the team.
Right.
In D&D wise, it is very elaborate because you could take a great example of this is Unsleeping City on Dimension 20.
Okay.
He takes a character aside and tells them, "Hey, this is what's happening. Roll for initiative. Try to guess where you're going with this path." And he does that, and it works out because he does one-on-ones with each of them. And it's close, like you're playing as a team, but imagine having just information that you know.
Got it.
Think about, all right, so you're in a band. The bass guitar knows we're not getting paid.
Yeah.
Everyone else is ignorant. They're like, yeah, we might get paid. The bass player knows, nah, they never took money out the door. They're not getting fucking paid.
Yeah.
Like, that's the inclusive information that person knows. With the Mind Flayer part, it works just like you said, the symbiote thing. It's a one-shot kill, kind of. You know, you kill the leader, you kill the army.
Yeah. But the monkey wrench is that army is also connected to Will.
Yeah, there's an attachment.
Yeah.
And it can fuck with the game. It can fuck with, especially if you're if the D&D group is been around a while. A great example is just the boys. The boys, they've been playing D&D for a long time. They don't want to lose a team member, fictionally or otherwise.
No.
You know, like
we got to keep Will around. This will fuck up our campaign.
And that's why what's crazy about it is you wouldn't see a character like that until 4 or 5 campaigns later.
Right.
And campaigns can take weeks.
Right.
So just imagine playing with something. Mikey, you've been playing with them for so long, you don't want to lose them. But you feel that hit. Yeah. So that's a great example of that.
Got it. Yep, and at that point, they're able to use Morse code to communicate with the real Will, who instructs him to close the gate. The Mind Flayer then uses their location and sends the creatures after them. As the creatures close in, one suddenly crashes through the window and lands on the floor dead. The door then unlocks itself, and Levin walks in, having dispatched the creatures. So yeah, Levin comes in. She's like, "No, I got this shit."
And
wipes them all out.
That's kind of a plot hole I do have with the series is how did she get from Chicago to Hawkins so quickly? But I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that. You know, that could just be a one-off thing. Maybe she took magic. Yeah, maybe she took a fucking cab. I don't know. And killed the cab driver.
Took a Greyhound.
She mind flayed the cab driver and been like, "Take me to Hawkins," and just like, okay. He's like, "That's be $20."
I don't have money.
And she explodes him. she fucking sneezed halfway there.
God no.
But it's
I'm halfway there. Ew. All right, then in the big wrap up, episode 9. After a brief reunion, 11 and the group devise a plan to close the gate without killing Will. Hopper and 11 head to the lab to close the portal, and on the way, seeing Dr. Owens, who's been attacked and injured upon trying to escape. While Jonathan, Nancy, and Joyce purge the virus from Will by overheating him in Hopper's cabin. So yeah, everyone's just on deck, and they're just like, we got to get this shit going. So yeah,
I will say the previous episode, if I was Winona Ryder's character, I'd be like, stop coming to my goddamn house. All of you. The last time a bunch of kids were at my house, one showed up with a gun, the other one showed up with a baseball bat. There was a fight, and then I lost my son again.
Now I will say, like, does this feel a little samey as to season 1 at this point?
No, because I think it's an expansion of the heroes.
Right, but is it not kind of the same plot points? Will's having problems, everyone's coming together, the whole group's coming together to help Will. They're fighting the Upside Down. They got to find a way to defeat it without harming Will. 11's here to save the day. This is my the only negative I have with season 2 is it does feel a little samey to season 1.
I don't see it as a same. I see it as a continuation.
Okay.
So like, hey, this is the strategy we had killing one. Because that was the problem.
Yep.
There was one.
Yeah.
Who got loose. This one, it's a fucking grab bag of these fucking things.
Yeah,
And now we have to take a fucking 2-prong approach. We got to split up and cover more ground.
Right.
All right. A great foreshadowing of this is in episode 2 of the first season. Is like, hey guys, we're just splitting up, looking, and they always just like look in the same place, the woods, his little hut or whatever, and it's just like it's not working. And this one, it foreshadows a little bit better because it is working.
Right.
Hey, it's a 2-prong attack because just like the Mind Flayer, there's 2 parts. If you play like any type of video game where it's something similar to this, it's a 2-level fight. If you Legend of Zelda fans know what I'm talking about, because there's always at the very end, you're not fighting them once, you're fighting them twice.
Oh yeah.
And so it kind of reminds me of like a video game or just a game in general, where
Which isn't a bad thing.
yeah. So I don't see it more as a copy. I see it as more as a continuation where, hey, this is the strategy we have now compared to the one we had before where it was just a baseball bat and a crazy chick.
No, and that makes total sense. And to prevent the creature from attacking Hopper and 11, Mike, Dustin, Lucas, and Max, along with Steve, plan to enter the tunnels to lure the pack away. Billy arrives at the Byers' house. Fucking Billy. Having been instructed by Max, instructed to find Max by his father, and getting into a fight with Steve, which that was a beautiful fight.
Yeah, it's
getting to see Steve lay a couple down on Billy after everything that's already happened. I'm just like, yes.
And like, because if you watched Billy get his ass kicked, that was a little rough. But if Steve had got his ass kicked, that would have been brutal because Billy would have fucked him up.
Oh yeah, Billy would have been brutal. Steve was like, stay down.
He kept the composure just a little bit, which carries over to the next season, which is fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, and Max manages to sedate him. Max manages to sedate Billy, and the group enters the tunnels and enact their plan. Billy manages to release. Nancy manages to release Will from the Mind Flayer's grasp by branding him with a poker.
Nancy don't fuck around.
No,
I bet Nancy's into some nasty shit.
Call me.
Get the poker. Get the poker. God damn it, woman.
It's for you, not me. Despite the Mind Flayer's attempts to thwart her, 11 unleashes her anger and successfully closes the gate and kills the creatures. Then we get a flash forward of 1 month later. Nancy's tape is exposed the lab, leading to its closure. Barb receives her funeral, and Owens, who survived his injuries, forges a birth certificate for 11, naming her Jane Hopper. Thought that was also really sweet.
Yeah. And it kind of fits perfectly. It gives it that cool like 80s ending, everything kind of worked out, the bad guys got taken care of, the government got put in their place.
I know, right?
Like that's the fun part about this show, because it reminds me a lot of the ending of E.T. All right, so the alien goes away, the kids are fine, it kind of works itself out.
Yeah.
And this is before the edits where they replace the shotguns with walkie-talkies.
Oh yeah, and you even get the awesome ending where you get Mike, 11, Dustin, Will, Lucas, and Max attending their winter dance, where Lucas and Max dance and kiss as well as Mike and 11, while Dustin dances with Nancy after being turned down by a girl, which that you weren't actually kind of expecting him to get turned down, because like I mentioned earlier, him and Steve in the car, and Steve's giving him that bro pep talk, being like, go in there, just talk to her, you're gonna be good, man, just knock it out, your hair looks good, hey, rock this shit, give him a little, his little pump up. And he walks in there, still gets rejected, but it is still of a big dick move dancing with Nancy, because she's the older girl.
Well, I think what it is it goes back to what I was saying. They're a tight-knit group now.
Yeah.
They're in it together. No matter what happens now, they all have this one thing. This goes from Winona and Hopper to 11 and Mike, Lucas and Max, Dustin and Steve, Nancy and Jonathan. They're all looped together because we can't kill them.
Yep.
There's plot armor there. And I think if they killed someone in the 4th season, I think that'll elevate the storytelling just a little bit.
Well, they tried to in season 3.
They killed Bob. They killed Bob.
Fucking justice for Bob. And then the last little bit of stinger, later, the Mind Flayer, you find out, is still alive in the Upside Down, towering over the school, watching the group at the dance.
Yeah,
so you can't end it on a completely happy note here, man.
No, you got to create sequels.
You got to keep that franchise going.
Well, any horror movie you watch from the 80s has sequel potential. You can name just a random one, and there's always potential. A great one is Pet Sematary. Because, the wife is dead now, the husband's dead, and who's left? Ellie Creed. She's at her grandparents' house. And I do like the fact that there's one Creed left. So yeah, we could continue the story because now there's the zombie family is back over there. But what if she came home? Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, and it plays out great. I do love there's a fan theory that Ellie Creed is the bad chick from Dr. Sleep, which I really like.
Honestly, I think in retrospect, this is probably my favorite season so far. Even out of season 3, I think I like this one the best. Although I like the visuals of season 3 better. Yeah. Like they went super neon 80s with season 3, and so the eye candy and the visuals of season 3 I liked a lot better. But season I think the storytelling.
Season 3 is my favorite.
Yeah.
Just because of every fucking movie they're pulling from. They're pulling from Caddyshack. They're pulling from every 80s asshole. They're pulling from Death Mall. They're pulling from all these movies. Like, it's the mall, which if you think about it is the most 80s fucking thing ever created. Let's put every store in one building and then make it a community center too. Let's just destroy downtown. And like that was the whole point of the 80s, was excess. And then who do you see? We see the mayor. Dude's rocking a pinstripe fucking shirt.
We'll get there. I'll
get there. But like, that's my favorite season. This one is a solid second episode. Like in my mind, it's like a part 2.
Yeah.
And then we get to the real sequel.
Got it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, we will be there soon enough because, like I said, I really want to get into watching season 4. So I'm sure we'll cover season 3 maybe sometime this week and then get released a few weeks after. But that's been another edition of this week's Couch Potatoes, and I've been Alex. Chris, do you have any sort of final thoughts on Stranger Things Season 2?
I think it's going to be really hard for Hopper to lay it down on old Winona Ryder because he's no Bob.
He's no Bob.
He's no Bob. Plus, she'd probably be into some weird, like, scary sex. You know what I'm saying?
It is
like,
Winona Ryder.
Hide a closet. Put on the suit. It's like a dead Demogorgon suit. He's like, I don't like this. It smells.